Hey there, welcome to the channel. Greetings from beautiful sunny Koh Samui. I'm sitting over here at one of my favorite little spots called Pool Sawat on Lamai Beach. And it's currently high tide, so I'm not going to be walking on the beach in this video. I just wanted to go through and share some updates for 2026. So yeah, I've recently decided to book a plane ticket back to the States in February to visit my family because I haven't seen them for 6 years. So I've been over here pretty much full-time in Thailand since January 2020. So yeah, January next year is going to mark my 6-year anniversary in Thailand. And obviously my family is missing me. They haven't come over here this entire time. My mom has a passport, but my dad still doesn't have a passport, nor does my brother. So I think it's finally time to head back just for like a month, maybe a month and a half. And I can fly back round trip on EVA Air. It's going to be roughly $900 round trip ticket, and then I just have a layover in Taipei, Taiwan. I haven't actually booked the airfare yet, but I did speak with my mom about it, and she's like, "Oh, this is the best news I've received in years," because I've been talking to her for a long time, trying to get her to come over to Thailand. I'm going to be getting married later this month, so I'll get the non-O immigrant visa. This is my best option in terms of a long-term visa for staying here, and it has a lot of benefits as well. And then chances are I'm going to have to leave the country. I think it's perfect timing once I get that non-O visa, and then I'll just fly back to the States for like a month and see my parents who are separated. They've been divorced for 15 years roughly. So my dad lives in Michigan, and then my mom is in very close to Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas. So I'm just going to fly into Dallas. It's like a 21-hour flight there. And yeah, so I'm actually pretty excited about it. Yeah, obviously I haven't been back for such a long time now. It's definitely going to be a reverse culture shock. But the nice thing is I could just stay with my mom for a month roughly. And then if I have to fly up to Michigan, I can fly up if my dad doesn't come down to visit in Dallas. But he's also getting very, very close to retiring. He's like 68 years old now. He's been working for the same company. Michigan State, which is where I attended university, got my computer science degree. He's been there as a software engineer for like 20 years now. And the fact of the matter is he could easily retire because he's got plenty of investments, lots of money in the stock market. And then it's just a matter of actually, liquidating some of those assets and then selling the stocks. But the issue always seems to be that he doesn't want to pay taxes, right? Because he's going to have to pay capital gains taxes, which is like, I think like 40% or something like that. So he keeps putting it off and putting it off. But yeah, he could easily retire at this point. So that's one thing that I want to go back to the States as well to do is, kind of motivate my parents. My mom's already retired. She's been retired for like 2, going on 3 years now, I think. So she's doing really well. And another exciting thing is that she's most likely going to come back with me to Thailand to visit. So it's just going to make it a lot easier for her because she's afraid of the dangers for some reason of, flying to Thailand. It's like a 21-hour flight, which is, not for the faint of heart. It is, especially for somebody that's never left the United States before. She's never been outside of the continental U.S. So I can understand why that would be challenging. So yeah, that she'll just most likely come back with me to visit so I can finally get her over here to Thailand. Possibly with her sister as well. She's a lot more adventurous. I think she's in Africa right now, as a matter of fact, doing who knows what over there on safaris or whatever. And so she was planning on coming with her sister, but that hasn't happened yet. So yeah, I think the best chance of getting my parents, or at least my mom over here, is going to be if I go back there to visit, and then she could just fly back with me. And it will be fun to see, I'd like to see what Dallas is looking like these days. Maybe I'll go up to Michigan, see what my college campus is like these days as well. Michigan State, it's a beautiful campus. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to some of the things. And then, like 1 month, maybe a month and a half, and then I'll fly back to Samui. Obviously, I'm going to be missing my fiancée during that time. Usually even like 2 weeks is pretty difficult for me. And we still talk to each other like almost every day on the phone. Yeah, and then once I get back to Thailand, I would also like to, we'd like to go to Japan. So we've been talking about going to Tokyo, maybe Kyoto, a few other places, seeing Mount Fuji in Japan. Mary's already been before, and I've never been to Japan, so I would like to see what that's like. I know that it's a lot more homogenous in terms of like the culture is just mostly all Japanese there, whereas in the US, one of the things that I really like is that it's very diverse, right? So there's all sorts of different cultures there. Whereas over here, even to a certain extent, you don't really get as much diversity. It's majority Thai, but at the same time, I really enjoy that as well because the Thai people are so friendly, accommodating, and hospitality over here is fantastic, and I just love it. But it will be interesting to see what the States is like these days. I'll probably just stick around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But one of the things that I haven't missed being away from the States for such an extended period of time is the politics, right? I really can't stand the politics in the US and how people are so at each other's throats all the times, and it's just getting very divided and toxic. It's like a toxic environment in terms of politics over there. But I'll just try to, not avoid that as much as possible. I also went to the Ampor office like a month ago, and I just asked, like, are these documents still okay? And they said, yeah, shouldn't be any issue whatsoever. So I just go in there, I get the marriage registered, me and Mary will have to go together, and then we need 2 witnesses. So she's going to invite 2 of her Thai friends, and then they can be the witness to register the marriage, and then it's going to be officially registered. And then after that, I just go to the bank, get the letter, take it to immigration, and then I should be all set for the non-O visa, which I can then convert over, I think, in about 3 months. So I may have to stay here for like an additional 3 months, which is not the end of the world, obviously, not at all. And then I can just travel back to the U.S. after that, convert it back over. The other option, which I was entertaining as well, is going to Kuala Lumpur, because I've been wanting to visit KL in Malaysia for quite some time. And it's a very short flight as well, and very affordable too. But most likely I just do the US flight. And yeah, so I'm excited about some of these developments, and obviously I will be making some vlogs while I'm in the States as well. And I'm also looking forward to getting my mom over here to visit finally after 6 years. She's had an open invitation all this time. Realistically, for about 3 years there, it wasn't really possible to travel to Thailand, not easily anyway, because of the pandemic. But I just decided to stay here the entire time, and I have very few regrets, if any at all. Samui was fantastic during the pandemic. You go for a walk on the beach, there's nobody around. Even still, it's pretty quiet here. There's really not that many tourists, especially around the Lamai area, and then also in the south as well. And a lot of my retired friends over here, they stay here for typically like 6 to 8 months out of the year, and then they go back to their home country, whereas I've stayed here pretty much full-time, off and on. I've done some traveling here and there as well, but for realistically 6 years. So in many regards, I would consider myself more retired, so to speak, than many of my friends. But at the same time, I also don't have nearly as much money as they do. I don't have much money in savings or investments, so I can't just be jet setting all over the place, traveling full time. Although I would like to do that, at the same time, I also really enjoy having a home base in a beautiful place like Samui. And I think that's really important, is because for a long time there, I was like in full digital nomad mode, where I was constantly traveling. I didn't have any roots anywhere. And then once I came here, I got the home base. It gave me some more roots. And then obviously I met my love of my life here as well. And we've been together for 5 years. So it's really nice to have a home base, and then obviously you can travel around from here. The one thing I will say though is that, like I've mentioned in many of my other videos, the flights are prohibitively expensive in and out of Samui. This last time when I flew back, one-way ticket from Bangkok to Samui, it was around 4,000 baht, which is quite pricey, especially if you compare that to, flying to like Da Nang, Vietnam or somewhere. That's almost the same cost as a round-trip ticket, or maybe like a one-way ticket to Da Nang. So it is quite pricey because Bangkok Airways has a monopoly, so that's one thing that you have to factor in. But it is also like it's considered one of the most beautiful airports in the world, and I always am just so relieved to be back at Samui Airport. This time I'm most likely just going to fly direct from Samui, because I'm not really saving that much by going to Bangkok and then flying to Dallas from there. It's really not that much of a price difference at all. So that's the plan. This last time that I visited Bangkok, it really grew on me. I was there for a conference, which was a digital nomad conference, the first one they've organized so far, and they're going to do another one most likely next year in November. So hopefully I'll go back for that one as well. And I was invited as a speaker. It was unpaid, so I wasn't getting paid, but it was a good excuse to go to Bangkok. And I met a lot of interesting folks there as well. And, I had meetings while I was in Bangkok as well. It was just great. And I actually really enjoyed my trip to Bangkok. So potentially, at some point, if we do decide to have kids, I think probably Bangkok would be the best place to raise them, just in terms of, having access to so many first world amenities, including hospitals. So I did a full guided tour around Bangkok Hospital while I was there as well, because they were a sponsor of the conference. And I started talking to the marketing team, and they said, "Oh yeah, just come out, make a guided tour around the hospital." That one was also unpaid as well, which is rather unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I put that tour up on my channel, and I think a lot of people are finding it quite interesting. I've gotten some pretty positive feedback from the tour. So yeah, the hospitals in Bangkok are world class, much better than you would get pretty much in any part of US or Canada, or probably even Australia and many parts of Europe as well. I was blown away, right? So in terms of long-term living, I think Thailand still checks all the boxes for me. But at the same time, that being said, I also look forward to going back to the States, since it's been, 6 years now. And it is going to be a reverse culture shock, but at the same time, I think there's going to be a lot of positive things to it. You're seeing my family again. They're getting up there in years as well. My mom is 66 years old, and my dad is 68. My brother is about, I think he's like 30, so I'm 38, so that would make him 34 years old. And he's on the spectrum, so he's got autism, Asperger's. So he's very, very smart, but he lacks the social skills and the ambition. He's never had a job in his life. He doesn't have any college education. And I feel kind of bad for him in many ways, but he seems relatively happy and, just coexisting. He lives with my dad up in Michigan. I also want to, kind of motivate my dad to retire as well, because he's almost 70 years old and he's got so much money in the stock market. He's invested very heavily into NVIDIA, which is now the largest company in the world. I would say it's like $5 trillion. So just a matter of actually selling and liquidating some of those assets. Even if it's like $70,000 to start, he would pay a very small percentage in taxes, I think. And he could have a great quality of life over here in Thailand. But he doesn't have a passport, right? This is a very common story for many Americans. I think only about 40% of Americans have a passport. It's possible the number has gone up over the years, but that's still quite a small percentage. And it's understandable, because there's so many things to do in the U.S. It's a huge country. It's not like over here in Thailand where you just got a couple cities. There's many cities, lots of national parks as well, which is one of the things that I used to love about the States. I've been to almost every national park in the U.S., including Yosemite, Zion, a lot of national parks in California, also Utah. All over the country, right? So that's one thing that I kind of miss, and it would be fun to see those national parks again. One of my friends in Samui here, he's from Netherlands, and he's actually going to go back, I think in March or April next year. He's going to go to Philippines for a bit, and then back to the States, and then he's going to rent a camper van and check out some of the national parks, and then come back to Samui after that. He owns a restaurant here, not too far from where I'm sitting right now. Very nice guy. He used to be a professional poker player, as a matter of fact. So he's done very well with that, and he ended up buying a restaurant here in Samui. Really interesting guy. So I find that living in Samui provides me a lot of the opportunities to meet people that are further ahead in life than I am, and many of them are retired. So I just learn a lot from these folks, and it's very inspiring, and it motivates me to, if you will, get my shit together. I'm doing a lot of things in the AI space right now, and I've launched a second YouTube channel as well, which is just called AI Automation Station. If you guys want to check it out, You know, I don't see any signs of AI slowing down anytime soon. If anything, it's going to continue accelerating. More and more people are going to be losing their jobs and being replaced by AI. So it's not necessarily the AI that's replacing the jobs, or it's the people that know how to use AI that are ultimately going to benefit in the long run. And yeah, with that being said, we're going to sign off. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Peace from Thailand. Stay tuned.